I'm Anthony Kovac, and you're watching LeaderCast, and today we're going to talk about homestead here in the state of Florida with Tom Hogan and the Tom Hogan Law Firm. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us about homesteading. And what is homesteading, number one? And number two, there is a procedure for homesteading that actually makes it a homestead. Let's go into the first thing. What is homestead?
Homestead in Florida was established many, many years ago, I believe in the 1920s, if I'm not mistaken, to attract people to move to the state of Florida. And what homestead rights are, it says that your home, where you're domiciled, where you live, cannot be taken away from you by creditors if you are hit with a large judgment or there's a large money judgment entered against you. The creditors cannot come and foreclose on your house and force you to move out and sell the house at auction. Now that does not include the bank that loaned you the money to buy the house.
There goes that.
Because they have what's called a mortgage lien on your house, and a second mortgage lien can also foreclose. So it's not about your lenders that loaned you the money for your house or the second mortgage. This is about creditors that maybe you were sued, or maybe you incurred huge medical bills, or you had another catastrophic loss somewhere in your life. Those creditors cannot take your home. And
what about the taxes?
You can never escape taxes, my friend.
I thought maybe we got lucky.
I'm sorry, but Uncle Sam...
I think the state of Florida figured that one out, right?
That's right. Uncle Sam and Uncle Governor of Florida will always come first.
Yeah, so excluding taxes and your mortgage.
And yes, and your second mortgage.
Exactly.
But that did attract a lot of people to Florida. I don't know, you may be able to think of some of them in history, like Babe Ruth had a house here, O.J. Simpson.
It doesn't matter how big the house, right?
Well, they had, a lot of those people put millions into their homes because now it's protected under homestead.
Nice.
And what was the gangster?
Al Capone?
Al Capone had a big house here because, you know, and it was worth millions. He was protecting it.
That's why they had the Florida corporate veil, right?
Exactly, the Florida corporate veil, which we'll go into corporate veil on another show. But that was what created the Homestead Act. And the Homestead Act has changed and fluctuated and morphed over the years. I think when Governor Christ was in office, you know, they changed it so that the first 25,000 was protected, and then the next 25 wasn't, and the next 25 above that. It got very complicated. An attorney in our office, Carrie Felice, is an expert in that area. In fact, she represents the property appraiser both here and in Sumter County, and she can help you with your questions about homestead. But I can tell you the basics, and that is that homestead is a very a valuable tool that was given to us by the legislature as Floridians, and you should know it and take advantage of it and use it to your advantage and for the advantage of your family.
But there is a procedure.
There is a procedure. Now, most people think, and some lawyers even think, that in order to obtain homestead protection, all you have to do is go to the property appraiser's office and tell them that my domicile, my home, is at 123 Cha-Cha Street, and the property appraiser will have you sign an affidavit, and your taxes are then reduced. You get all the exemptions that you're entitled to, and there are special exemptions for veterans and for people who are disabled, and there's all kind of different exemptions that come into play there at the property appraiser's office. But the fact is that the Florida Constitution states that what you need to do in order to protect your home and avail yourself of homestead protection is you have to go to the clerk of the court and you have to file what's called a declaration of homestead.
Declaration of homestead at the clerk of the court.
That's correct.
Not at the
not at the property appraiser. And it is an affidavit it's very simple. It says, again, I swear that I live at 123 Cha-Cha Street. That is my domicile. I don't have any other domiciles. That doesn't exclude you from having a vacation home. But
it's not under homestead.
That's not protected under homestead. And that says I have no other homes protected under homestead. Other states have adopted Florida's homestead law, and some people we found try to commit a little trickery and have homestead protection in 2 different states. That's illegal. And so you sign an affidavit saying that this is your only domicile, your only homestead, and you file that with the clerk of the court, and then you are protected under the homestead law.
Now, if you have 5 other properties that are used for rentals or other members of the family live there, whatever, they can file that under homestead. But if it's in your name, they can't.
They cannot. They have to own the property. Renters cannot. Guests cannot obtain homestead protection.
Only the owner and only once.
Only the owner and only once. I have seen a husband and a wife declare that they live in 2 different places, and that has been upheld.
Okay, so the wife can actually own a property, and the husband can own another property, and still maintain homestead on each?
I've seen it done, and I've seen it upheld, and that's all I'm going to say on the matter.
Yeah, there is a little trickery there.
Yeah.
But, you know, in today's modern society and families, there could be 2 people who were previously married, right? And now technically married to each other, where they had homesteads, and they still maintain their family homes.
But separately. And sometimes there are valid reasons that the children from the first marriage don't want to see the family home sold, so they want Mama to maintain it. And so that will continue to be Mama's home address. That will dictate where she votes, and those sort of things, and she will file that as her homestead. And in the meantime, the father, the new husband, maintains his homestead.
Well, 2 people can work far apart from one another.
Yeah, that's another.
They still live in both houses, really, but maybe meet up on weekends.
That's another good, valid reason, yes.
So there's probably several ways for that to happen, that
yes.
It could still be upheld in a situation of homesteading.
Yes, that is correct.
But, you know, contact your local lawyer.
Please, like I said, in our office, Attorney Carrie Felice is an expert on this area. And like I said, she represents a couple of property appraisers. She knows it inside out. I invite you to consult with her. But if you have another lawyer in mind that's qualified, and as I always say on these shows, that law is so complex these days that no one lawyer can stay current on all areas of the law. So seek out a lawyer that practices real estate law and understands the homestead law, and get that lawyer to give you a consultation on the right way to maintain your homestead exemption so that you are protected from creditors.
Very good. Well, thank you again, Tom.
Thank you, Anthony.
We're here again at the Hogan Law Firm at the conference room here in Brooksville, 20
South Broad Street.
20 South Broad Street, and talking about, you know, homestead exemption. So if you haven't went to the court,
Clerk of the court.
The clerk of the court, which used to be Don Barbie. I forget who it is now.
Mr. Korvat, Doug Korvat.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Doug Korvat. And go over there and talk to him and say, hey, I need to fill out my affidavit to make sure that your homestead exemption is valid, as well as obviously the tax appraiser, so this way you can get the benefits.
You want to do both. 2 trips, but the offices are very close in proximity.
Excellent. So I'm Anthony Kovic with LeaderCast, and we'll see you the next episode.